do universities usually choose the right web technology? What is the best technology that supports a university's needs in the long run? Is it about cost, security, scalability? What is the right approach to take in this decision? An interview with Saber Mejia.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome you to the very first World Higher Education Ranking Summit. And today we're joined by brightest minds in higher education, most prominent change makers, innovators, policymakers, technology leaders. And today's topic is really crucial for universities across the globe: the power of web technologies. And I'm honored to interview today a leader in technology and digital transformation, Information Management Officer at United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, Saber Mejia. Saber is a leader in project development, a leader in technology and project management. Saber, thank you so much for finding time for the interview today. It is really essential for all the viewers that are watching us today to hear your expertise in technology and to understand why it is so important to use the right web technology. This is the topic of our today's discussion. Saber, why digital transformation is essential for every university?
So thank you for your question, and thank you for inviting me today. So let's start right away by tackling this problem. Why digital transformation is important? Because digital presence today is essential. Is as simple as this. If a university doesn't have a proper digital presence today, it is not easy to find. So if a student cannot find the university that they want to participate in, how can they get information about it? How can they get engaged? How they get into what is their future? Because when they're looking for university, they're looking on spending time in that university, sometimes 3 to 6 years in that same place. So being able to find the right information for everyone, to make the information accessible, to make the things that we want the other person also to see, because we also want to give the right image of whatever university or whatever sort of like a bachelor degree or graduate degree or whatever type of formation you're trying to give. That is essential. And if you do not have it today, I might don't want to be too catastrophic or like sort of worst case scenario, but it might be a tiny bit late because everyone is online today. So it is essential to have it.
Thank you, Saber. And you've mentioned digital presence. What are the key elements of successful digital presence for university?
I think for digital presence, we have various points. We have the advertisements, because that's something that really helps students to see what other options are there. We have the rankings that are key in a way. And then, of course, we have the search engine optimization. I think these three are like the main key points. So how easy is it for university to appear on the first page of Google, depending on whatever keywords the potential students have input? Then what information can you find about the university? And based on the ranking that you see, what are the rankings saying? And I think these are like the type of information that every student is looking for. And if these do not appear correctly or do not appear at all, this is a very very big red flag that we're having here. So this needs to be sort of resolved as soon as possible. Otherwise, I see this as being the basics. So starting from this, then we can go to the next level of doing maybe a tiny bit of different type of target advertising, seeing all the different levels of things that we might be able to do on a digital level. But without this, we cannot start the race.
This is a foundation of everything. Thank you very much, Saber. So my question is regarding the choice of the right web technology. And what would you recommend universities to do while choosing right web technology to make sure that it is cost efficient and effective at the same time?
I think the sentence that everyone hears is diversify your portfolio in a way. So don't put all the eggs in one basket. So for instance, what we have seen very recently, let's suppose you're a university and social media advertising is very important indeed. But let's suppose you have put everything on Facebook, which is actually the case maybe for some universities, because you have a reach to over 1 billion people by doing that. But we have seen that today there has been a big crash with the specific social media, therefore losing for you the possibility to track properly the students that you would like to hire or to get into your university, and losing points and losing also in terms of ranking, because if it is not as effective to use it, you're putting a lot of money on a very targeted campaign or whatever type of social media strategy you're having, and that is definitely not very cost effective. I think the most cost effective option is to really diversify, to try a different type of strategy for different type of social media and different type of web technologies. Of course, Google is on the forefront of this, you know, of having your page appearing in having your website appearing on the first page, but then does not stop there. You need to also have reference, try to get like involved in different type of social media strategy as being referenced with other sort of articles. And this is the basics of SEO, but also to use different type of social media, different types of like, let's call them funnels, to get the students towards you. And if you're relying only on one, this is very risky for you and for the future of your university, because every year things are changing very fast. Talking about technology, today we're talking about like Web 2.0. And I think that like universities that will try to leverage the power of the new technologies that are appearing with 3.0, therefore like creating a way to engage a tiny bit more, to find a way to attract these people that like are interested into the new technologies. I think this could be, this can put some universities that maybe today are not in the top ranking appearing on the forefront, because things are moving really fast on the digital market. And if you know how to play your cards very well, I think it can be really interesting for some universities, and very cost effective, because you don't necessarily need to put a lot of, in terms of on a financial value, in terms of capacity, you do not need to put too much. But it is very time consuming to come up with this type of strategies, to come up with this type of innovative ideas to attract new people. So I see something to finally just resume what you have asked in terms of being cost effective is diversify the strategies, both in terms of like search engine optimization as well as social media. And finally, try to invest more towards new type of innovative technologies or digitalization projects. So you can find ways that are more engaging and do things that other people are not doing, as simple as that. Simple to say, not to do, of course, but it is, I think this is the key to diversify yourself also from others.
This is brilliant, because most universities, they underestimate the power of online presence. And sometimes you can see universities that are very powerful with their amazing background and very strong offline presence, while online they have very digital, very little of presence, and very, I would say, not really quality digital input. So what would be your recommendation for universities that are quite new to all these developments and are quite new, and they have maybe just one web page with what they do, who they are, and there's not real interaction on their page? What would you recommend to them?
I think, I mean, this is another sort of red flag for me. So if you have this, then you need, as soon as possible, to tackle your digital presence. This is just key. As I mentioned earlier, it all starts with some basics. And if you do not have those, we need to start like get you on board with that. It might be seen as like an investment. And it is true that to build a digital presence when you start from zero, it can be both time consuming and also in terms of investment. You need to put some financial, how can I say, capacity to it. Sorry, 1 second. Apologies, I will get back just in 1 minute. I'm sorry, we can maybe cut this part. I'm really sorry about this. Can you hear me properly? There's some background noise behind me, but I think it should be okay now. Sorry, I maybe cannot hear you now. Sorry, I got some issues. Can you come again, Angelica? Maybe you were muted while you were speaking now.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
fine?
you can hear you.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had some background noise, and then I tried
No
to
worries.
basically mute it with the Zoom. Apologies about
No
that.
worries, no
Can
worries.
we come up with the question again?
Yes, so I would like to ask you the question on what to do for universities that do not have very strong online presence, but they're very developed offline. And when you go on their website, there's really little information there. Maybe who they are, the number of faculties, maybe the management and the dean's office. That's it. Is it the red flag for you? And what would you suggest to such kind of universities?
Yes, I think this is definitely a red flag. The capacity that you have needs to be put a tiny bit towards digitalization. Because if you have only this, that then basically means that you appear somewhere, but you do not appear where you want to be appearing, basically where the students can find you. And if that is not the case, then you're not having the basics of what it needs to be a digital presence. In order to do that, you need to start investing again on the search engine optimization, start thinking a tiny bit more about your social media presence, and then of course, thinking about like technologies that you would like to use. And if you're a university, then you have different types of faculties and different type of people that like you can use. I think an idea that could be, for instance, if someone does not have maybe the capacity or means maybe financially, is to also use the students in itself, because they have a lot of knowledge, maybe students from marketing, students from engineering, to help you with that, and therefore like help them as well to bring their like how could I say, their ideas and knowledge to make an actual use case. And I think why not use what you have in-house to do this, rather than maybe rely on outside, on an agency or something else, which is also a very good idea. I'm not taking that out, but let's suppose you do not have the means. I think you have some means in-house to do this, and students know best. Students know best, because if they are in that university, then they know why they picked it for a way or another, and they're most likely be able to convince other students to get there if there is a reason for it, of course. So I think you can use that. It's definitely something that can be done, but to have a definite strategy is not to give, of course, students the a white paper to do whatever they want to do, but to have come up with an idea, a strategy of what type of digital presence do you want to have, where you want to be, what type of ideas do you would like to accomplish. All of this needs to be set in stone. So without this, I think it's going to be very difficult to arise, both in terms of rankings, both in terms of like you being present for other people and then to get new students, as simple as that.
That is absolutely right, because I loved what you just mentioned. You should ask students, because students know best, and because students chose your university for the reason. And I believe that using in-house efforts would be really essential for also for engagement with students' feedback and understanding what's going on. And I wanted, in that regard, to talk about Web3. What do you think is the future? What do you think should be done by universities to keep up with it? Because it's so difficult. We were just getting used to current technologies and didn't really harness the power fully. But now it's a new era, and what is coming for us?
So there are various definitions from Web 3.0. Just to resume it very quickly, Web 1.0 was just having a text on a page for people to be able to access. Web 2.0, which where we are today, is getting a tiny bit involved. So you are putting some data, someone is putting some data, and you're interacting with the data very basically, likes, comments, this type of things. But Web 3.0 is going to be pushed to the next level of engagement, and is also going to be in a way that is decentralized. Therefore, you put out only what you would like to put out. It's not going to be the same as, let's suppose with Google today, have a lot of information about everyone that has a Google account. But when you're going to create a website that is like that, you are not going to have information about other people, but you will have the information that you ask them to give. And they are free to do whatever they want to do. So when we go towards this level of decentralization and based actually on blockchain technology, this is how today we picture the Web 3.0. The key elements here are these. Are you thinking about blockchain technology for your university? Is this something that you're teaching, for instance, in your university or not? Just by saying this, it tells you to what level you are in this level of being in the future of this. You need to be having teacher or like students that like understand this and go towards that direction. Decentralized means also getting less information, but at the same time, more quality information, because the person that decides to put that information is doing it willingly, which is very important. You're getting very quality information. You're getting what you want from the students or from whatever other stakeholders you would like to have. And then, yeah, then you can also think about like other ideas of come up with different strategies of getting some financial value out of it. Because when you develop this type of page, you can do tokens. For instance, you can maybe every student, I'm just like being here very meta with my ideas, but instead of every student having their like actual student card, they might have an NFT of their card, which is not necessarily physical, but at the same time, it proves that like they are the only person that have that card. So like no one else could be actually potentially getting into, just making an example here, getting into the universities with someone else's card, because there's only one holder of it. And there's different type of like use that this can be done with tokens, or different type of like, getting information in a way that is anonymous, but at the same time, you know that it's true. Only the students that are within that university can give you, for instance, some feedback or some suggestion for some things. And that improves the security that you have within your university. And again, the quality of whatever things you're trying to accomplish. So these are just very hypothetical ideas. Very few universities today are working with 3.0. And I think if the one that will start doing it are going to be the one that are going to be on the forefront of innovation. Some leading universities, of course, they're working with blockchain. They're working as teaching what is the technology, but using it within the university when it is not a project, actually using it as an essential tool, that is completely something else. So I think like it needs it needs a tiny bit of innovation and a tiny bit of tryout to make this thing come true. And again, I just think that the one that will do it will be the one that will be ahead of the game compared to other universities, because these things are changing extremely fast, on a day by day basis. So yeah, this is sort of my view. But then again, of course, this is very we can discuss this a lot, and then these ideas are also not very easy to implement. It is true, but of course, high risk, high rewards. This is also how it works.
This is extraordinary, because what we see right now is that many universities, they kind of really would love to keep up with that, but it's very difficult, and it requires lots of activities, it requires lots of investment. And would you see that this is the investment of the future? Do you think this is something that needs to be done to be, as you say, at the forefront of innovation?
In a way, yes. I mean, of course, we do not know, but to be ahead in the race of technology, you need to use the tools that are ahead. It's as simple as that. You cannot be in the forefront on a Ferrari, on a Formula One, race, if you don't use the forefront engine, right? Like the flagship engine. If you're using something that you're using since the 1980s, I think you're well behind in the race. That does not necessarily mean that you do not race at all, but I just think that like you need to give yourself the best means if you want to win a race. And without using the most innovative technologies, or at least trying to, it is not necessarily important to use it successfully, because I mean, there are not 100 examples of successful use at the moment. But there's a lot of tryouts, and without this trial and error, we will not come to the actual solutions that will going to be used in the future. And that's what I think that it's going to be implemented. I don't know, just by thought right now, the number of universities that had an app, for instance, or a website just 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago. But today, I think like these numbers are within millions. So yeah, things are moving really fast, and I think that like universities try to adapt, but not all universities try to innovate, which is different.
Thank you so much, Saber. I want to remind all our viewers that today we were joined by a real technology leader, and you can actually ask him questions in the chat box that is situated here. So you can submit your question, and we will make sure that Saber will answer it as soon as he has opportunity. I know that today's interview generated massive interest among academics, faculty members, staff, because everyone wants to be at the forefront of digitalization. Everyone wants to be a leader in digitalization. And I'm sure that after our conversation, you'll receive lots of requests to actually explain it further. And I was really honored today to interview you, Saber, because for me, as a person that is not connected to tech world, as a tech, as not a tech leader, I understand that this is the future. I still think that today's interview has shed the light on the importance of digitalization, on importance of online presence, and as you said, diversifying. So I believe that this is the main purpose, to make sure that today's session was extremely useful for everyone watching. Thank you so much, Saber, for your time. It was a pleasure to interview you, and I'm really looking forward to the questions that our audience have for you.
Thank you very much for the invite, and I look forward to hear the questions and any feedback. I'm always happy to see what are the thoughts from everyone else. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon then. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.